People in today's time are no longer able to process information like they used to many years ago. Today, though, they are literally bombarded on a daily basis, and because of lack of inner focus, inner healing, and acceptance of themselves, they are easily exploitable by those who are of higher consciousness, knowing what to do in order to get a certain outcome of those people, because they will simply fall victim to their own mindset, not knowing what is going on. Those who appreciate the very silent moments, those who love themselves, who always try to become a better version of themselves, who actually seek perfection, completely have a different lifestyle, a complete different reality, and perceive world events in a total different way, making it possible for them to overcome those obstacles quite easily because, very importantly, they love themselves. You have to understand today's time, though, is completely marked with multitasking. I've mentioned in quite a few of my videos so far what multitasking is. It is perceived as having the ability to accomplish as much as possible in a given time frame to reach a certain goal, without burning out quite easily. Today, though, multitasking is everything. No one is talking about monotasking, the ability to focus for extended periods of time in order to accomplish a certain outcome, because that would require discipline, focus, and willpower over a period of time in order to achieve something of high regard to that individual. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it. Monotasking, though, like reading books, dancing without music, doing sport without music, running for extended periods of time, once again without music, so actually external stimuli makes it for most people unable to even focus for some time. That time frame might just be 30 minutes. For those people who, like in the beginning, haven't done any inner work, meditation, qigong, tai chi, reading books, focusing, aren't able to accomplish these goals or any other goal that they deem in their own life actually as high respectable, because once again they lack focus and discipline, especially willpower. Willpower, or otherwise known as motivation, is something of temporary methods to overcome an obstacle. Motivation will come and go. This is just the way it is. Discipline, focus, tension will always stay, will always be sharpened, will always be of great need in order to accomplish something that the majority of people on this planet are unable to do so. Because once again, it's uncool. It's boring. There is no instant reward. There's nothing. There's silence mostly. People do not like the silent moments because there is no external stimulation. There's no music. There is no chatter. There is no one around. Nothing is in the background. It's just them and their own mind. And most people are very much actually afraid of their own mind, their own thoughts, because they very well deep down, somewhere in their heart, know that they've been running from problems all life long. And they don't want those problems to catch them, especially during nighttime, for example, when you're about to sleep. Because those are the very silent moments where actually, if you really think about it, guilt would start to build up, because those people actually very much know why they are, for example, unsuccessful in life, why their life is a miserable shit show, why they do not have the money that they actually deserve to have. And if they just put a little bit of effort in it, they would actually get that kind of money, that kind of success, that kind of outcome, lifestyle, whatever you name it. People would actually quite easily get it. But there is a system in place run by those who, of course, try to keep knowledge hidden, try to attach it in a way that people are, even though they are confronted with it, not able to process it. You can easily see that, for example, when it comes to the modern world, like YouTube. people are unable to process information given by the YouTuber, by the content creator, if the video, for example, is not created in a certain way, it's cut in a certain way, edited in a certain way, with the zoom ins and outs and lefts and rights and constant zooming in, out, blah, blah, blah. Text needs to be below all the time. So whatever I'm saying, there would need to be text for people in order to focus for those extended periods of time. Otherwise, they would perceive it over time as boring. Because once again, they lack focus, they lack discipline. They lack discipline. Because they never focused on themselves. They, once again, all the time are running away from their own problems. They constantly chase stimulation. Otherwise, they are alone with themselves. Most people on this planet do not love themselves. Most people actually hate themselves. They hate the image that they see, for example, in the mirror. Just ask people them to undress themselves. Do they love what they see without clothes? Most probably would say no. People oftentimes also do not like how they show up in the world, so by other people, how they're perceived by other people. They wish, for example, that at certain stages in their life they would have acted differently, but they lacked the confidence because they never in their life used any given time to question themselves why they are the way they are, why they, for example, once again do not have the money, why they do not have certain outcomes in life, why they are surrounded by certain people. All those questions never asked, never answered, because they do not want to. It's painful, and I've made quite a few videos about that already. Why people run away from their own problems, why people actually run away from themselves, because they do not want to be awake. Being awake means also to be responsible for your own life and any action given outside your world. You are responsible for your own outcome. You are responsible for yourself, for your own health, for your own money, for your own circumstances. Yes, external forces might have been a great contributor to negative outcomes in your life, but in the end, though, you cannot victimize yourself. Victimizing yourself, that's for the weak. Once again, very much true that they were a major reason why, for example, certain things didn't happen for you or for anyone else in their lives. But you, in the end, have to overcome it. You have to show strength. You have to show character. You have to be dedicated yourself. You have to dedicate yourself to yourself in order to accomplish what you want. This is a very important thing. Do not seek validation from outside forces, people, friends, family, whatever. They do not like themselves actually, because if they did, they would be successful. They would be happy. They would be full of energy. They would be full of dedication to projects. Every week a different project. Something in the garden, something there, something in your own room, in their own rooms. They would be doing all kinds of things, maximizing how to do sport, how to extend time, not always just shorten it as much as possible in a given time frame. Because you would love to do sport. You wouldn't mind doing it for 3 hours once in a while. You wouldn't mind painting a picture for several weeks. Because you actually very much like and enjoy those quiet moments. Maybe have some soft music in the background. Or no music at all. If something of very much importance is about to be done, has to be done, you would enjoy it. That though is monotasking. And monotasking, once again, is boring because there is no instant reward in a world. Today's world is full of instant rewards, especially when you use social media. Yeah, your phone is constantly ringing. Something is always happening on that phone. Apps have to be updated. Apps are updated. Someone is calling, someone is messaging. You anticipate already certain events. You anticipate your money to be shown within the next hour so you can do something. You anticipate that a certain phone call is coming in order for you to do something else. You anticipate and expect. It's not like most people have their phone on the side, plane mode on, and just do their thing. No, it is constantly running. And for many, not most, for many, their phone is actually even on when they're sleeping. This is not good for many, many reasons that I have actually also explained, but that's not the topic of today's video. Once again, younger and younger generations simply cannot handle given information because they are unable to process it, because they have learned over time, so their brain actually structured information in such a way that if information isn't given in a specific way, they can't handle it. They don't want to handle it because it's boring. Boring means boring. So you don't want to deal with it because why? There is no instant reward. There's no cutting in and out. There's nothing happening. You have to focus. You have to understand what someone is, for example, saying in a video. You have to literally imagine, if you're reading a book, how that world might actually perceive itself. What are the people wearing? How are the people talking, walking? What are they doing? What is their motivation in that fantasy book, in that science fiction book? Many people can't even imagine something like that. And in today's time with AI, where you just can simply type a few things and you get images, videos already perceived, bam, just like that, there is no need to actually think anymore. Because you just press enter and something is done, something is cooked for you, for the people. And most people are stupid. Most is the minimum of 51%. Yeah. So most people are stupid once again. The stupid ones will become even more stupid. Just like the rich become richer because they associate themselves only with rich people, with a rich mindset, with rich possibilities and opportunities, while the unsuccessful people, the poor people, all the time focus on negativity, are surrounded by negativity. Misery loves company after all. I've also mentioned it quite a few times in my videos. People do not want to handle information of great responsibility because it's painful. People do not want to accept, basically, that they have wasted years of their time not focusing on themselves, listening to other people, and in the end to only have the ability to pity themselves, to be sorry for themselves, for how much time they have wasted on these bastards around them who never actually want their best. They never have the best of interest. Just ask yourself, how many people can you actually tell your deepest dreams without them laughing about you? Once they realize that you actually are about to make serious steps to success, watch how many people will disappear out of your life. Once you set boundaries, once you show them that you are actually moving towards that goal, they have no desire to do so because it's painful. It's better to live an unconscious life, basically to be ignorant, because if they were awake, if they were about to face themselves, to take responsibility for their life, they wouldn't be able to sleep. It would be a painful scenario for them, a painful experience, because once again, they do not want to do that. It's painful. The truth is harsh, direct, and brutal. And there's many, many people who absolutely cannot handle the truth. They don't want to. And I can again say, and again, and again, and again, once again, it's painful. And of course, the system, those that control everything, they greatly benefit from people who are not wanting to know the truth. A master has its puppets, you know? The puppet doesn't even know that there is a master. Because someone who's unconscious, living an unconscious lifestyle day after day, their routines, how they wake up, what they do, that they do. They're about to open the window, then do their coffee, then go to the toilet. Being able to walk in the dark because, once again, they have routines. Something has become at one point unconscious so that they do not have to waste energy. If people all the time focus, for example, on becoming a better version of themselves, starting to walk every day, starting to go to the gym every second or third day, starting to run as well, do meditation, all those things. In the beginning, it's very painful because it's a lot of different conscious decisions. You wake up, you write on paper 5 things that you have to do throughout the day. And you, for example, do not allow anyone to interrupt you until those 5 things that you deem for yourself to be absolute bullshit to do. Yeah? It's a chore to even think about it. Once accomplished, you can do whatever you want or you can relax. But over time, all those things that you hate, you would vomit about, doing, they become second nature. Over time, though, so you have to endure something. So you have to have willpower. You have to have discipline. You have to show focus. Where focus is, where attention is, there's energy moving. People don't want to do it because it's painful. And if someone tries to do it, the majority, they usually load themselves with 20, 30, 40, 50 things to do. And yes, some actually might accomplish all of them. Writing on a list, 20 things, and they accomplish it. And next day they write 20 things again, they accomplish it. 2 weeks later, they don't do anything anymore because it's too much. It's too much conscious thinking. Because they do not want to be conscious. Being conscious means you are responsible for yourself. You have to think of yourself, of your own actions, what you're doing, and you greatly can do that in silence. So when there's no stimulation for extended periods of time, you're sitting in your own room for 3 hours. No music, no TV, no computer, nothing. You just think and write, for example, something on paper. Phone on plane mode or off. Nothing's on. Nothing to expect, to anticipate. Zero. And you do it on Friday, and you do it on Saturday, and you do it on Sunday. And next week you might actually do it again and again and again and again. And only eventually you maybe go out and have some fun time with your friends and family. That's not what the majority is doing, though. It's completely flipped. Very, very rarely. That I've also explained quite a few times if you watch back my old videos. There are only certain moments where people wake up, and that is a brutal wake up. It's imminent, it's at once. There's no protection, it's just boom and they're awake. Someone dies, there happens an accident, something dramatic is happening in their local area or worldwide, if they're, for example, constantly watching the news. That's the moment when they realize that their illusion that they are living in is completely bursted. It's gone. Certain friend, unfortunately, is no longer alive. Certain family member as well, or heavily injured, no longer being able, for example, to walk. No longer are you being able to have fun time with them, like playing soccer, going somewhere and having a dance, whatever. The illusion is shattered. Most people live in an illusion. And when they are confronted with reality, normally, they do not like it, and they just, if it comes to the internet, for example, they are just writing nasty comments because they need to defend their reality, because they don't want to interact with themselves. It's painful. They do not like that. And they do not want to perceive other people being superior to them. That's painful as well. Because you realize how much time is wasted. Because there is no focus, attention being put on themselves, taking on responsibility for their own life in silent stillness, moments, nothing. Because those moments are the moments, basically, where the mind for those people is spinning. The thoughts are like a waterfall overwhelming those people because they have been all life long running away from it because it's painful. It's easy to just run away. It's easy to just exit from something. To only be confronted years later again with that problem. Way heavier, way more of impact in someone's life, and they have to face it again until it breaks them because they all the time run away. They all the time turn on noise. They all the time want to have something running in the background, not focusing on a single task, monotasking, in order to accomplish something very quickly, very effectively, learning, relearning actually, how to process information, how to structure information, what to do with information, and how to successfully move in life. Once that click is happening, they do not want to do it because that click, that 1 second is painful. But you have to realize that 1 second is also very painful for the system. They cannot handle people who are awake. You need to sleep for the system to work. Too many people are waking up. Problems. That's just the way it is. I've explained in great detail in many of my videos why it's such a painful thing. Why, for example, people aren't reading books. Why people aren't able to focus. Why people aren't able to just have a successful life going for themselves. Life lives them. They don't live life. Most people are in survival mode. Most people hate successful people, while successful people simply ignore the haters. They actually even offer their own hand if they see if someone is willing to do the inner work in order to climb up. Unsuccessful people will never do that because they don't love themselves. If you do not love yourself, how can you become successful in life? It's just a lie. You're just living, these people are just living a lie. They're just wearing a mask, seeing other people succeed at a faster rate that they cannot tolerate, because it's not happening for themselves. So once again, surrounding themselves with people of their own mindset or the same mindset, in order to fulfill the line, misery loves company. Every successful person on this planet had to face their own deepest, darkest problems. To become successful, you have to face yourself in order to understand who you are, in order to understand your strength, your weaknesses, and work on both. Over time, in order to become someone that most people look up to and very, very many hate. It's just the way it is, unfortunately. The ones who do not do the inner work, that's why I so greatly emphasize on that subject, will always hate themselves and the external world, especially those who are successful. Because those successful people can be alone, and they can be alone for a long time. And a long time just doesn't mean a few weeks. It can stretch to many years. Because they are happy with themselves. That's why it's so very important to completely nourish and be grateful if you have time for yourself. The world is all the time shouting at people. You have to constantly hustle. You have to constantly show. You have to constantly basically be in revenge mode. Show those people what they have missed and stuff like that. Where is actually any talk about time for yourself? So you can focus on yourself. So you can repair yourself. So you actually don't rely on other people that much. People who actually, once again, they don't wish your best anyway. Because if they did, why are they fat? Why are they unsuccessful? Why are they miserable? Why aren't they happy for you? That you, for example, accomplish something great in your life. That you make, I don't know, 10,000, 20,000 a month, why are they not really, truly, honestly happy for you? Why do they need to justify that you do certain negative things? Yeah? Because they hate themselves. Because they see that through you, through yourself, they could have become successful as well. Because you are a human, they are a human. They could have done the same thing. They could have accomplished the same things if they have done what you, for example, have done, or anyone else has done. The possibilities are always there. I've said it as well. In every single second of your life, you have the possibility to change your entire life drastically. So, you're not a smoker anymore. You start a business in half a year. You start to walk tomorrow every day for a minimum of 30 minutes. Just like that. Simple baby steps where you put your attention, your focus, and dedication in order to later on accomplish that high goal of yours. And once you've achieved it, you have a complete different perception of yourself and the world. And you will see the people around you who were all the time actually just holding you down in a complete different light. Just like when you wake up, you see the world with different eyes. You suddenly see things that you haven't seen before, and you can never unsee them ever again. It's impossible. That's just the way it is. And that is very important to realize, that it can be a single second changing your entire life. It's just about that you have to do it. You have to do the first step. And that you can only accomplish in stillness, in silence. So you need to cherish those moments. Once you have accomplished all those things that you have done throughout the week, throughout the weekend, and then you have that time for yourself. And that gets stretched from 15 minutes of deep thinking about yourself to several hours. Whatever time you have, completely cherish that moment. Be happy. Love yourself, and all those other things. Because you basically only have that one life of that consciousness, which is you, which is me, which is everyone else. And whatever happens after that life. There's many theories that I could also talk about a lot of things, and maybe I will be doing that. But don't be one of those fools who later on in life only pity themselves, are sorry for themselves, to have wasted that much potential, that much time. Because once people are old, once people, for example, are fragile, because they haven't done any sport, they haven't done anything of activity in their life, they aren't sorry for themselves, because once again, a fragile body makes it close to impossible for people to do something. And second, they are no threat to the system because they're old. There's people who are old and are in shape and have a great life and think differently and have attention span. 30-minute video, 60-minute video, a Joe Rogan podcast is no match for people who read books on a daily or weekly basis and who truly enjoy reading books. That's no problem. They don't need the cuttings, the editings, and whatnot. Yeah, they can watch a video 60 minutes, easy. Easy.
So easy.
Because most older people read books, research things for extended periods of time. Don't ask ChatGPT and stuff like that for simple, quick answers. Never relied on fact checkers and all these idiots. Because when you know who you are, you have standards. And the more you accomplish in life, the higher standards become. So you have very high standards that protect you from low outcomes in life. From very low outcome, drastic negative experiences. You don't even make those experiences because you are wise to begin with. Wise people know very much that they do not benefit from an experience regardless the polarity, so they don't have to do it. Stupid people have to make certain experiences in order to find themselves through trial and error. That is called life experience. That's why wisdom all the time beats life experience times million. You are ahead of the game because you focus on yourself. You look for answers inside, not outside. You just see it outside manifest. What you knew all along inside because you focused on your inside. Energy, information, meditation. Yeah, what people don't do. People think 15-minute meditation, oh, job is done. Within 15 minutes, you only just relax. You naturally relax. So the entire process of what most you see on the internet, I've also made a video about meditation, is mostly bullshit. What you see on the internet, because it's too much talk about those energy stuff. What true meditation actually is all about, that you can move energy around in your body and around your body in order to accomplish certain things. Also about healing and manifesting, and not just 15 minutes breathing in and out and sitting in a certain way. You can meditate, for example, just lying on the floor or while you're in the bathtub. You can have the greatest connection with God when you're having a bath and not having to attend church where people are asking you, my dear, we haven't seen you in 6 months. You know, the community hasn't seen you. Is everything all right in the family? Shut the fuck up. Just because you go to church every Sunday or twice a week doesn't mean that you have a connection with God. There's a lot of people who hide behind religion that are absolutely of worst nature that you can imagine. That's why spirituality will always be superior to religion. Because, and I will be making a video about that as well. I think I've mentioned it once on my X account or in another video. One traps, one frees. So which is which? It's very important for you to just realize and take from that video that you need to cherish the stillness, the silence within yourself when you are alone, and actually be very happy when you have that time, when you are alone, when you have no one around. Don't be so sad that you, for example, have to be alone for half a year or a year or whatever. Be glad that you are alone and that you can work on yourself, because you in a lifetime can accomplish what millions of morons can't even accomplish in several thousand years of reincarnation, actually. Basically, actually. A voice disappeared for a moment. You have great character, great possibility, great challenges ahead of you as well that you need to overcome for you to fully emerge into the version of yourself that you can be absolutely proud of. And then you have, just like I said in my last video, a life that you can talk about. And many are going to listen because they want to become their own best version. And that is a wonderful, beautiful thing to think about. Have the courage to be yourself.